right, kiddies, it's time to dissect the band Avenue and Oceania. I'm very excited about this. This is a group that I just was recently brought to my attention, and I'm very impressed with, bringing back some of the old sounds of bands like Spawn Ranch, Raised in Black, and putting a new 2000 edge on it. This is excellent music. If you haven't heard it yet, you're about to in this episode. So, give a nice, cold, and clammy welcome to Avenue in Oceania. Well, thank you very much for joining us here.
Thank you.
I guess introductions are in order. So who the hell are you and what do you do?
Oh my goodness. Well, my name is Jason. I'm the vocalist and lyric writer for the project.
My name is Andy. I do keyboard programming and play keyboards live.
My name is Alex Schultz. I play the drums.
And I am Kamiar. I play guitars and the keyboard in the band as well.
What is the significance of the name Avenue in Oceania?
Oh, I'll get that one. Basically, I came up with that. I was just pondering the state of the world as it is right now, and sort of how if people aren't careful, you could see like Orwell's 1984 as sort of a cautionary tale, and then the way that the world's developing right now, things could be leading towards a totalitarian type of state, society. I felt that what I wanted to encompass was not so much a warning, but kind of a warning, but not so direct of a warning, but more of a slice of life of what it's like to live in a society like that once it's already established. Just what what's happening in that kind of an atmosphere.
Oh, okay.
And that's why it's an avenue in Oceania, which was the European Combine that was in the book 1984.
Right.
So.
Wow, very good. I like the statement behind the name. That is excellent. Okay, so now on to the music side of things. Okay, so you guys sit down to write a song. What's that process like? Who writes the lyrics? Who writes the music? Is it a completely joint effort, or?
Yeah, it's an interesting process because we kind of have it grows from a very small point, you could say, because Andy and I, Andy would come up with, he's very into the classic synth type players, programming his own sounds, coming up with something original. And generally what happens is that we get together and start kind of formulating something into an arrangement. And we bring Jason in midway through the process to start writing lyrics and things like that.
Yeah, they'll give me what they have, and then I from what they give me, I get a feel. I get a sort of, I listen to it and see how I feel about it, and then that gets imagery, and then that gets inspiration, and then it kind of develops into full-blown songs, and we manipulate it along the way, but that's pretty much how it works out. They basically lay me out a foundation of something they want to work on, and then bring it to me, and then I join in with them, putting it all together.
Awesome. Okay, that's very cool. Very cool. Let's see. Let's talk to the drummer for a minute here. I've heard that this is not your first type of music, or music that you have any experience with.
No, I used to play, I still do. I still play for a band called TERROR-ific, and it's a punk metal band, and we just came out with our first album. And so, yeah, I'm excited, and it's a lot of fun, but it's completely different. It's completely different going from that style of music to this style of music.
What are the challenges?
Well, one of them is I feel like I'm completely free in TERROR-ific. Like I can sit there and do whatever I want almost. I have no click track. I have nothing to really hold me back, and so I feel like I'm more of an animal, I guess, in that band.
Sense.
And then in this band, I have to really restrain myself, hold myself back, and I think it's a great tool to help me become actually a better drummer, which is really interesting. And it's fun to play to a click track now. I can't do anything without it now. Nice. So like if my headphones fall off, I'm like, I start panicking. So it's fun. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
One last question I would like to ask: what musical legacy would you like the band to leave on the scene?
Well, the only thing I think it really, from a standpoint of legacy, is it would really mean something to me what we're doing would encourage people to not stay pigeonholed within a certain sound expectation, a certain genre expectation, and just kind of branch out, try different things, add elements, take elements out, in order to still maybe have sort of the darker, brooding sound, but at the same time, experiment.
You'll stick around and treat us to a few melodies, if
I
you will?
suppose we could do that.
All right, all right. Well, coming up is the Noose, and shortly after that, Avenue and Oceania will perform in... And our top story this evening comes to us from Liverpool, England, the John Lennon Airport. The wife and stepdaughter of 91-year-old Kurt Willie Durant insisted he was alive and just sleeping when they wheeled him into the airport Saturday for an EasyJet flight back to Berlin. Police surmise they were trying to dodge the estimated $6,000 it would cost to ship the dead body. They had him wrapped in a blanket and he was propped up in a wheelchair, wearing sunglasses. Good move there. An airport source told Click Liverpool he was dead, completely motionless, and the two women insisted he was just asleep. Were immediately suspicious. A coroner's report is due in the next few days, but police believe Durant probably died of natural causes on Good Friday. Well, I guess that's a good day to die. At his stepdaughter's home in Oldham, near Manchester. The daughter was quoted as saying, "They would think that for 24 hours we would carry a dead person? That's ridiculous. He was moving. He was breathing. 8 people saw him. He was alive. He was pale, but alive." As for her reaction upon learning her stepfather was no longer among the living, she told the Liverpool Daily Post, "I wasn't surprised. I mean, he was old. He was 91, and everybody has to go. That's why we wanted to go to Germany, because he told us he wanted to die in his country." Well, $6,000 to ship a body? They don't eat? They don't need the little almonds? God, why is it so expensive? Prices have gone up in the last few years, I tell you. All right, let's move over to China. Mr. Wang's body exploded in the cremation chamber. Holy crap. A Chinese man killed by a weather rocket was thought to have died from getting struck by lightning until his body exploded at his own funeral. Wang was attending a wake in his own home when an explosion took off half of his roof and left him dead in the wreckage. Because it was a stormy day, family members and police assumed that lightning was what killed Wang and the left side of his home in ruins. Wow, that's tricky to say. The left side of his home in ruins? The far left corner, I guess. Anyhow, however, as Wang was being placed into the cremation chamber at his own funeral, his body exploded, causing the chamber's oven door to fly off its hinges. Only then, spectators discovered a small piece of twisted metal, which led them to what really killed Mr. Wang. Ooh, the plot sickens. A small weather rocket was shot into the sky in order to break up hail into rain, but it failed to explode in the atmosphere and instead had fallen through Wang's roof and acted like a bullet, instantly killing Wang as it lodged into his body. That's some bad luck, hey? 3 years later, the Weather Bureau has only given the Wang family 80,000 yen. Don't get excited, that's only about $12,000, as compensation for their loss. Wow, I mean, what are the odds? You're at a wake, you're having a good time, and you get killed. Terrible. Tragic. Well, since we're in Japan, or in the Orient, let's go take a look at Japan, shall we? It appears that one of the old people's homes in Japan. A woman was suffering from dementia, an older lady, and a cat chewed off her toes. Yes, a cat chewed off the toes of the right foot of an elderly woman while she was asleep at a home for the aged in Japan. Workers found the 88-year-old woman bleeding from her feet with all the toes missing on her right foot. Paw prints of a cat were found leaving the scene of the crime. Oh, it's true. It's true. It's on the Noose. It must be true. All right, let's go down to Australia, shall we? A traffic warden slapped a parking ticket on a car that has been sitting for a few days and in violation of traffic code. He, however, forgot to notice the driver. Yes, and it wasn't until 2 days later that the driver was found dead in his car and was apparently dead at the time of the issuing officer's citation. Well, that's not very observant for a police officer. How do you put a ticket on a windshield without noticing a corpse? Maybe he didn't want to ship the corpse. Maybe he was afraid he'd have to pay $6,000. Who knows? And our final story, a fun little tale that comes from Jordan. It seems a couple in Jordan each started extramarital affairs online, and this sizzling romance grew to a boiling point. And imagine their disappointment when they discovered that their cyber romance was with each other. Such a shame. Such a shame. Now, here at the Noose desk, we get phone calls from all over our wicked globe from some very colorful people trying to tip us off for stories that we should share with you. And I thought it might be kind of fun, demented as it may be, to listen to one of these messages that we have gotten. So I got our world-famous film critic, Egbert, of Egbert and Reaper, to go ahead and sift through thousands of messages and pick his favorite. So let's go ahead and give that a listen, shall we? Go ahead and roll it.
Hello? Is this the Noose desk? I have an in the Noose item. Yeah. Filth. You've probably heard of Noose. Well, just the other day they released from the 1950s the X-rays of Marilyn Monroe. Skeleton I'd like to fuck. Ooh. Boy, I like to rattle her bones.
Oh, okay, wow, this is going a little too far.
Too bad either.
This is creepy.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, okay, well, sometimes we get some strange messages too. Maybe that was a bad idea. Next time I won't let Egbert pick. Egbert!
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
What's up?
Why? Why that one? Out of the thousands that you had to choose from, why did you pick that one?
What do you mean, why? I mean, that was just crazy. He's all, skeleton, so he's gonna, rattle the bones. I mean, that's
Okay,
awesome.
okay. All right.
Yeah,
All right. Yes, it was kind of funny.
Of course it was funny. It was hilarious. I mean, skeleton,
Well done. Well done, Egbert.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you. It was my pleasure. It was fun.
Now let's go ahead and shift gears, shall we? It's time for me to jump on my proverbial soapbox. Now, this is a subject that I've ignored. I've just kind of pushed it aside, hoping things would get better, but it hasn't. And with the release of this new film that just came out, I can't stay quiet any longer. I have to talk about this. Stop the remakes. Please stop. Why? Why do you there out in big Tinseltown feel the need to remake a movie that doesn't need to be remade? It's still damn good by today's standard. I mean, just look at Nightmare on Elm Street. Come on. I mean, I'm not going to go into any detail. You can read the entire review over at darkestjack.com. But really, I mean, why? Why even bother remaking a film if you're just going to steal from the original? What's the point? I mean, did we learn nothing from the shot-by-shot Psycho remake? Come on, people, this is no good. I mean, I understand. I understand that throughout history, people have remade things, updated things. Okay, I accept that every now and again, that's fine. But I mean, if you have to, if it's your lifelong mission to remake some film, make it your own. Do something different with it. Change it up, you know? Do like what Tim Sullivan did with 2000 Maniacs. You know, he made it his own. It's his own beast now, and a fantastic beast it is. You know, do something like that. Change things around. Make it original. You know, like here is an example right here of a film that changes the source material up.
Years ago, in a distant, war-torn cosmos, a monster is born. Trained in the dark arts, he wields a weapon the color of blood. His mutilated face is hidden by a mask that strikes terror in the hearts of all. This Halloween, fear has a name: Vader.
See, there is a remake that would get me into the theater. I would pay money for that. A Star Wars horror film. That's fantastic. I love it. All right, well, before I get off my soapbox here, let me make my main point, and it is this. Hollywood, you're spending billions and millions of dollars on these remakes, these crap remakes, when you've got people in the underground and independent horror films that are just making amazing movies. Look at Hatchet, look at 2001 Maniacs, look at Repo the Genetic Opera, look at Infested Films. These people have talent and original stories. Why not give them some of that money? Let them make a movie, you know? But I can't just blame Hollywood, because you know what? I also blame you. Yes, because you guys are gonna go see the films. Nightmare on Elm Street opens, it's the #1 movie. Well, of course they're gonna make more remakes if it's a cash cow, if it's making money. So stop going to see remakes. Stop it. Knock it off. Don't do it anymore. Instead, you know what? Go see Hatchet 2 is coming out. The sequel to 2001 Maniacs is coming out. Infested Films. Support those movies. Show Hollywood that that's what you want to see. Maybe they'll get the hint. Thank you. And that about wraps up my rant.
Well, boils and ghouls, I am here with an absolute madman.
It's true, you know, it is quite true. Yes.
In case the poor souls at home don't know who you are, introduce yourself.
I am Paul Ehlers. I am Madman Mars himself. As in this new DVD, available today.
We'll make sure you pick up a copy of that, absolutely. Indeed. So, a lot of memories, I'm sure.
Many.
Is there any specific one that really encapsulates your experience on this film?
Yes, and it's something that's really not part of the on-camera production, but it's a story I love to tell. In that we filmed only at night for 2.5 months, and we filmed in a woodland setting. And about 2 in the morning or so, or 3 in the morning, the actresses started complaining that they had seen someone creeping through the woods. Truly, someone was watching their performances through the woods. And this happened night after night after night. Until one night, the director, Joe Giannone, who is now gone, Joey came up to me when I was in full costume with the real axe. He says to me, while I'm in full costume with the axe, he said, why don't you go out there and see if you can find this guy and just surprise him a little bit. So I went out, like the real madman, with real intent, with the real axe, tromping through the darkness of the woods, looking for this poor soul, and I never found him. At least that's the story, that I never found him.
Well, and we'll vouch for you.
You will.
You know, I saw you there in the woods, and you didn't have to find him.
T, it's true. And you can trust this man. You can trust him with your, well, what can I trust you with?
Unlife?
With your unlife. So zombies, near and far, you know you can trust him, and I'll give you a Madman howdy-hoo and a laugh before we go. Thank you very much.
Well, groovy ghoulies, you finally made it. That's right, the time is nigh. You've sat through all my crap just to hear Avenue in Oceania.
Thank you, Jack, for having us and killing us with kindness.
Living in a shadow where the world lies like a weapon. I'll create you and I'll make you when no one knows that you existed. An action of a mind, of a project you're enlisted. I'll create truth and I'll make truth, and you'll not know that the truth existed. Explosion in Afghanistan, hostage in the Isle of Man. If you have a secret plan, I'll know before the plan began. I can kill you or revive you. I control the thoughts that drive you. I can make law or forsake law. Due process is a myth. That is twisted. The news you hear is what I choose. The facts are left unlisted. Using every avenue, I can sell you, I can buy you as you suffer the illusions. I choose not to deny you. A fomenting a crisis, I'm left to my devices. Your love of misery entices. Your life is station mental vices. Deceive you and you praise it. Hold illusion in amazement. You hunger for enslavement, served in a friendly voice. Mockingbird, Mockingbird.
Well, boils and ghouls, what a fantastic performance. Oh, I can talk you guys into singing us out with one more. You have definitely proved that you're just as good live as on CD, and that's very hard to do. Wonderful, wonderful. And that sadly brings us to the close of another Darkest Hours, but fear not,
Much more coming in the future. Much, much more. So stay tuned for that until next slime, kitties. Sweet nightmares.
In darkness I am justified to surround you in a code of lies. To know is to fear, so you fear knowledge and it brings you here. A giant starving circle that feeds only on itself. One great shining light, one more chance to fall. Immersed in self-corruption, the end is with you every moment. So now confusion rules emotion. You are random hate defined, and worship misery as tokens to be paid for love. When love is nothing but a lie, that's when you are mine. You are animal, a sense of recreation. You're a beast with hands that can be led to grasp what I decide. And sorrow does become you, a hint of what I left behind in those empty streets, and neon gods adorn you. Keep you safe from understanding. Watch the beautiful design, one great shining light, one more chance to fall. Immersed in self-corruption, the end is with you every moment. You are animal, a sense of recreation. You're a beast with hands that can be led to grasp what I decide.